The Shelton Metropolitan Park District meeting is called to order. If there's anyone needing headphones tonight, please let us know. We can provide. Donna, when you do roll call, please.
I will. Board Member Bode,
Here.
Board Member Sherman.
Here.
President Gutierrez.
Here.
Board Member Inesco.
Here.
Board Member Schmidt.
Here.
Board Clerk McDowell
Present.
and Board Member Peterson.
Here.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Has everyone reviewed the items on the consent agenda? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as published?
So moved.
Is
Second.
there a second? Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Business agenda. There are no business action items this evening, so we can move on to administrative reports. And we have Mark Ziegler here, Parks Board Director Mark Ziegler.
Thank you, President Gutierrez, Park Board. Appreciate that tonight. I just want to give you an update on some of the progress being made by the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee and some of the partnerships we've formed here in the community, some projects coming up. The Parks Advisory Committee is working diligently on formulating the final design for a playground project at Northcliff Neighborhood Park. So we're excited about unveiling that soon, working with some community partners and maybe some fundraising activities to help realize the development of that park that has been in city ownership since the late 1970s when it was dedicated to the city with the Terracite subdivision. So really looking forward to that project coming around and adding more amenities as we move forward in the future. April 15th, we've established a community work party at the Huff and Puff Trail in partnership with the Shelton Rotary. This is in response to some of the activities that have been going on up there that really want to invigorate and maybe re-advertise and let the community know that that trail is an asset for the community, and those that aren't familiar with it to become familiar with it or be reacquainted with that facility. So we're going to work on city staff are going to work on grading the parking lot over spring break, most likely weather permitting. Students aren't in the parking lot. There's a little more room to move the grader around, remove some vegetation, some of the trees that might be unhealthy. Shelton Rotary is going to coordinate that work party on the 15th, then do some litter pickup, remove some other invasive vegetation, and then work on the entrance where the student memorial is located. And the plan is to keep up on that student memorial with Abe Gardner, who everybody knows in this community, or most people know in this community. It was as his Eagle Scout project some time ago. So keep up on that. Memorialize the students that have unfortunately passed away over their time when they were in the Shelton School District, and try to also promote more activities. So I'll be working with our recreation coordinator, Jordan Crumples, and promoting some it won't be necessarily scheduled activities, but maybe just opportunities to meet up if it's the same demographic, whether you're a runner after work or you're a mommy or daddy or me that maybe stays at home or has some time at home and you go out and push the stroller. Anyway, you can meet up with some people up at the Huff and Puff Trail and promote some more use, some more activity up there with folks that have the same common interest and maybe the same schedule. So we'll see more of that as the summer brochure comes about. April 21st, we are working with the Capital Land Trust to remove some invasive vegetation at the Mankey property, former Mankey property at the top of Turner and 16th Street. So that was the 53 acres that we obtained with the Angle property that's over on Bayview back in 2021. That property, Scotchman's got kind of out of hand up there. The replanting of that vegetation didn't take as well as we had hoped. So going to go in with a work party with Capital Land Trust assistance to remove some of that invasive vegetation, particularly around some of the native vegetation that has taken hold, some of the cedar trees and fir trees and maple trees and things like that. Give them a little more room to survive, thrive, and work at pushing back some of the Scotch broom up there. So that'll be an opportunity. And actually, both of these, the April 15th and April 21st, are opportunities for the general public to join us too. So we'll have a shuttle from the Civic Center on the 21st with partnership with Mason Transit to bring folks up to the site. On the 15th, there's plenty of parking for people to show up to the Huff and Puff Trail. that'll be kind of an ongoing process to further provide access and use for that former Mankey property up there on the Turner neighborhood. And then we don't have dates set, but in the future, April, May, it has to be done by the end of May. We're working with the Mason Conservation District to replant the former house site over here at 218 North Fifth. So the house that was removed last year with practice burn with Central Mason fire. Mason Conservation District has some funding to install a pollinator garden and revegetate that area, promote some, bee habitat and butterfly habitat and things like that. Also beautify that, bring it back into maybe a little more aesthetically pleasing environment. Would provide some benches and things like that. So city staff and other folks that are downtown can take advantage of that area and check it out during the meantime. So we're working with Skookum Rotary, I think, to partner on that as well. So another opportunity to build some partnerships, bring some volunteers in and promote some of the unique opportunities in our community. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have tonight.
I just have a question unrelated. There's some consensus in the community that we don't have a lot for kids to do. Is there a chance that we could have a Facebook page for just Parks and Rec? That's all it is, what activities we got going on? Baseball, soccer, movies at the park, and even other functions that aren't city functions, but they're going to be at a park, like the music at the park and stuff like, or I'm sorry, yeah, music at the park.
Yeah.
Just a dedicated page to Parks and Rec saying all activities we provide for kids. I know I've seen a sheet that maybe gets mailed with the water that shows all of the stuff that we provide.
Yeah, so we have our quarterly brochure that goes out with utility bills. It's also distributed through schools throughout the county. So everybody gets at least the schools all get enough to hand out to their students. We also promote through the city's website as well as our Facebook page and social media outlets as well, but we can look at expanding that. We like to be a resource for any other community activities too. So whether it's South Mason Youth Soccer, Shelton Youth Baseball, Thurston County Fast Pitch, or any of those organizations that provide activities and programs in the community, we have those contacts, we have that information. We're happy to provide that as well, but we can certainly always look at expanding the opportunities to provide that information to our community.
Be nice, just a one-stop shop kind of place to look for stuff that's going on.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Thank you for the update on North Cliff Park. But there's a Mr. Pinnell that was involved with the North Cliff Park way in the past. It was dedicated to him. Are we going to bring in that family?
So yeah, Ron Pinnell actually lived across the street. He was a longtime local resident, a valuable member of our community, was involved in so many activities throughout our community, and was really the what would you say, Councilmember Peterson, the leader of Shelton Kiwanis, if nothing else, the figurehead of
Mr.
Shelton
Kiwanis.
Mr. Kiwanis. Yeah, yes, absolutely. So that was recognized through a donation at the park, not necessarily dedicating the park, but dedicating a garbage can. And it's kind of tongue in cheek because Mr. Pinnell used to pick up garbage as he walked downtown, and wherever he went, he picked up garbage. So it was kind of a tongue in cheek I guess memorial to him that we all thought I'm in Christmastown, Kiwanis. So we thought it would be appropriate. But Mr. Pinnell was also a member of Christmastown, Kiwanis. He's a member of two Kiwanises. But now that you bring it up, I did meet with Shelton Kiwanis Board today, and we had some brief discussions regarding some adoption and maybe naming of the facility. So I think there's some interest there from Kiwanis clubs, maybe not specifically to Mr. Pinnell, but maybe Kiwanis and other opportunities like that we can represent and recognize people and organizations in our community that give so much every day.
Well, thank you, Mark. Any other questions?
Mr. President, I believe Councilman.
Yes.
You remember, have
McDowell, yeah.
a comment. So I see the landscaping is coming along at the basketball court. It's looking really good. What else is going to be done there?
Well, the irrigation is coming along, so the guys are working on getting the irrigation in the ground right now.
Okay.
After that, I believe the public works crews have a little more of the landscaping to put in on the east side, and then on the west side of the parking lot along here along Fifth Street. Then there's some topsoil and then some sod would be placed once the irrigation's installed and the final grade is put in around the basketball court. And that should essentially wrap up
Then it
the
should be
project as
ready
far as I
to
know.
dedicate. Okay,
As far as I know, yes.
all right.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, we can, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
We can move on to general public comment. Does anyone in the general public want to make a comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to the announcement of the next meeting, which is on June 20th, 2023 at 5:45 PM, and we will adjourn at 6:54 PM.
5.
5:50.
Close.
Close, eh?